All right, we're on a mission. We're going to find the laziest, and I mean that in the best way possible, the smartest way to make at least $100 a day with a one-person business. And to do that, we're going to use a really specific framework to just cut through all the noise and find the one model that lets you work smarter, not harder, especially as we start looking ahead to 2026.
But first, let's get one thing straight. We have to redefine what lazy means. This isn't a negative thing. You know, Bill Gates famously said this: a lazy person will find the most efficient way to get something done. So when we say lazy, what we really mean is strategically efficient. We're looking for the path of least resistance to the absolute best results.
Now, what's really fascinating about all of this is that society has basically brainwashed us with something called effort moralization. It's this bizarre idea that if you're suffering and working super hard, that somehow makes you a better person, that being busy is this badge of honor you should wear. But you know what? The world doesn't reward hard work, it rewards outcomes. This mindset is the exact thing that keeps people trapped in that whole hustle culture grind.
And that leads us to the most important question of all, doesn't it? Let's just forget about glorifying the grind for a second. How can you genuinely actually work less and earn more? I mean, that's the real objective here. We're looking for the business model that gives us the highest possible income for the lowest input of effort, stress, and of course, risk. To figure this out, we're not just going to be throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. No, we are going to use an objective framework. Let's call it a litmus test to systematically rate every popular business model out there. No guessing, just cold, hard, data-driven analysis to find our winner.
So our test has 5 key pillars. First up, capital. How much cash do you actually need to get started? Second, complexity. How steep is that learning curve, really? Third, time to profit. How fast can you actually start seeing money come in? Fourth, management. Does the business end up owning you, or do you own it? And finally, consistency. Can you count on that income, month after month?
And this slide right here, this perfectly illustrates why capital is our #1 pillar. A Forbes study found that 38% of startups fail for just one simple reason: they run out of money. A brilliant idea is completely worthless if you can't afford to actually execute it. So our ideal model has to be incredibly capital efficient. All right, with our framework locked and loaded, it's time for the elimination round. Let's run the most common online business models, the ones you see everywhere, through our laziness litmus test and see how they really stack up.
First on the chopping block, Forex trading. Capital? You need thousands, easily, to make any real returns without taking absolutely insane risks. Complexity? Oh, it's a war zone. You're literally fighting against algorithms and huge institutions. Ongoing management? You basically have to live and breathe the charts 24/7. In income consistency, it's practically zero. You can make $2,000 one day and lose 3 the next. It fails on pretty much every single pillar.
Okay, next up, dropshipping. The big hidden cost that nobody talks about is marketing. You have to spend a ton of money on paid ads just to test if a product will even sell, basically burning through cash before you've made a single dime. And the ongoing management? You're dealing with customer complaints, supplier problems, and refund requests all day, every day. That is not lazy.
So what about something like real estate? Look, it's a fantastic way to invest money, but it is not a lazy way to make money. The capital required is massive, the legal and financial complexity is an absolute nightmare, and the time to see any real profit is measured in years, not months. This is a long, slow game, the complete opposite of what we're looking for.
And finally, YouTube automation. The name itself is so misleading. To get those millions of views, you need a full team: scriptwriters, editors, voiceover artists, which costs a lot of money right up front. You're basically running a whole media company, managing a complex content pipeline every single day. The automation part? It's a total myth. This is a full-time job.
So after eliminating all the usual suspects, you might be sitting there wondering, is there any business model out there that can actually pass our test? I mean, they all seem to demand way too much money or time or expertise. But there is one.
The model that not only survives but absolutely thrives under our lazy framework is called AI shadow operating. And this model leverages a huge, completely untapped opportunity that has only recently become possible for beginners, all thanks to the rise of AI.
So what on earth is an AI shadow operator? Well, you partner with small to medium-sized content creators. These folks, they're brilliant at building loyal audiences, but they often have no clue how to actually monetize that attention. You come in and handle the business strategy, and you let them handle the content. The opportunity here is absolutely massive. There are millions of these micro creators out there with 20, 30, even 60,000 followers. They've built up trust, they've built up loyalty, but most of them are making little to no money. They're sitting on a gold mine, and they don't even realize it, because their passion is creating content, not running a business.
Your offer to them is incredibly simple and so powerful. You're not asking them for money, you're proposing a partnership. You just say, listen, let me help you build and launch a digital product for your audience. You keep doing what you love, creating content, and I'll handle the entire business side, and we'll just split the profits.
And the process? It's just 4 simple steps. First, you find a creator. Then, you pitch the partnership. Then, and this is the absolute key, you use AI to build the entire launch strategy. This could be using tools to analyze their audience and brainstorm product ideas, or using AI copywriters to generate sales pages. The AI does like 90% of the heavy lifting. Finally, you launch and you collect a percentage of every single sale for life.
Okay, so it sounds great in theory, right? But does it actually pass our 5-point laziness litmus test? Let's run AI shadow operating through the exact same rigorous criteria we used for everyone else.
Let's just look at the scorecard here. Capital investment? Almost zero, because the creator already has the audience. Complexity? Super low, because AI tools are helping you build the strategy. Ongoing management? It's minimal after that initial launch, and the income is stable and can actually be stacked as you partner with more and more creators. It's a clear winner right across the board.
And hey, this isn't just a theory. Take a guy named Ted, a 21-year-old who switched to this model. He's now making multiple 5 figures every single month. His take? He says, I get to work with people I actually like. This allows me to make more money while working less. I cannot find a downside. I mean, that's some powerful social proof right there.
So to just sum it all up, this model works because you're not selling, you're partnering. The audience is already built in for you. The AI handles all the complicated stuff, and it's a true win-win situation where you get to help creators you admire achieve financial success while you do the exact same thing.
And this really brings us to a final thought. In an economy that's increasingly driven by creators and supercharged by AI, a business model that requires no capital and no team, but instead just leverages existing audiences, well, it seems uniquely positioned for the future. So the question is this the new blueprint for the truly lazy and successful one-person business?